Okay, yes. Has this video been made before on YouTube? Absolutely. But in this specific way, not really. First, let me introduce the two guitars I'm comparing. Let's start with the affordable model coming in at $225. Yes, the price has increased since my first video on the Oliver by Orangewood in late 2019. Then at $3,799, we have my go-to gal, my Martin OM28E, that I've also had since early 2019. Martin have the history and legacy. Orangewood are the new kids on the acoustic block. Just so you're aware, this video is not sponsored by Orangewood or Martin. This video is brought to you by me. Now, I know my guitar playing is an acquired taste, but if you like my fingerstyle technique and want to learn my original songs, then check out my guitar course, Fingerstyle Guitar, Mary's Method. First 1,000 people to sign up using the link below get a 50% discount, so check it out. C.F. Martin & Co. are based in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Martin have been family-owned and operated since the first guitar came off Christian Frederick Martin's workbench in 1833. 6 generations of the Martin family have steered the company since then. The headstocks may be dated with 1833, but that's only the date when the guitars were first made in the United States of America. Martin guitar making dates back even further to as early as 1807. The firm was first to introduce many of the characteristic features of the modern flat-top steel string acoustic guitar. Other influential Martin innovations include the dreadnought body shape and scalloped bracing. They've been played by just about every influential guitarist in the modern age. Orangewood are a company based in Los Angeles, California, actually founded by 2 brothers. They brought out their first collection in 2018. They design and set up all their guitars in California, but the components are made in China and Indonesia. They are an exclusive e-commerce business who currently only ship to the US of A. What can you expect from the Orangewood? Here are the specs. Top material, solid mahogany. Back and sides, layered mahogany. Finish, natural satin. The scale length, 25.5. Scalloped X bracing, no electronics. The bridge and fingerboard material are sonicling rosewood. There's a bone nut and chrome die-cast tuners. What can you expect from the Martin? For $3,574 extra, you get a spruce top, East Indian rosewood back and sides, a gloss finish. The scale length, 25.4. It has the iconic X-brace bracing shape, and for the electronics, I use the LR Baggs Anthem. There's herringbone inlay. The bridge and fingerboard material are ebony. There's a bone nut, and it has nickel open gear tuning machines. I have put the same strings on both guitars, just FYI. Now that you've heard the guitars separately, I think you'll notice some differences. Whether or not these are important to you depends on your experience and your needs as a player. The thing to note here is that sometimes you need to be wary of the lower price tag, which luckily hasn't been the case for me and my Orangewood. But say if the guitar doesn't stay in tune or has some nasty, sharp fretwork, buzzing noises, a bad setup, the cheap guitar will be totally uncomfortable, sometimes unplayable, and put you off learning the instrument. So do keep that in mind. However, when it comes to the expensive instruments, there's the famous phrase, diminishing returns. So a 10K guitar isn't necessarily better than a 3K guitar. It just might be built with more expensive and shiny materials that don't affect the playability or sound quality. Now for a song, because I like to showcase what these guitars do in context, and with a vocal over the top, does it still matter? I should be promoting the songs from my upcoming debut album, but I've been writing non-stop, and this is an excuse to perform a new song that I've written called 6,000 Miles. In this song, we have some chords. And then some slightly more open chords. Then we have some palm muting and a gentle percussive bridge beat. Yes, I want to include a bit of percussive playing, just so you hear the body of each guitar too. I think it's an integral part of playing the acoustic guitar, the percussive nature of it. Okay, so here we go.
Was in trouble when you first said hello. I lit a cigarette, although I haven't smoked since school. Effortless and mature, I didn't think you'd care. Left alone at 1 a.m, you invited me upstairs. Take a seat, take a breath, tell me about your life. Your heart is still in pieces, I know what that's like. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone, but I'm only 6,000 miles away. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone. September isn't too far from May, but I wouldn't ask you to wait, 'cause you wouldn't ask me to stay. I left your apartment at 7 a.m. I know not to stay too long when a break is that fresh. The streets of Noe Valley never felt so cold. Of course I meet perfection, but the timing is all off. Take a seat, take a breath, tell me about your life. Your heart is still in pieces, I know what that's like. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone, but I'm only 6,000 miles away. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone. September isn't too far from May. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone. Something about this feels so wrong. Feels so wrong. I hate that she hurt you and won't let you move on. Move on, move on, move on. I know I deserve more than being a body to keep her side of the bed warm. But I know you won't hear this until I'm long gone. So take a seat, take a breath, tell me about your life. Your heart is still in pieces, I know what that's like. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone, but I'm only 6,000 miles away. I know you'll move on while I'm long gone. September isn't too far from May. I know you'll move on while
Hello, it is I, Editor Mary from the future. I just wanted to chime in quickly and just say, wow, okay, I've reviewed the footage, I've listened back, and the biggest takeaway here is that in a studio environment, close mic'd with Neumanns, these two acoustic guitars with singing over the top, warbling, you could call it, the difference between the two is not too drastic. Separately, they do sound different. The Martin sounds warmer. The Martin sounds how it should sound. The Orangewood, yeah, it's just a different sound. And in so many recording situations, you could be using that guitar and it sounds great. So the other differences that I just can't communicate, being in the same room together, you would hear a difference, but that is not the point of this exercise. Changing strings, very, very different. But again, not the point of this exercise. It was just purely recording experiment, me being intrigued, me wanting to mess around, and there's a reason I've kept both of these guitars for 4 years. I think having a guitar that you can take away and maybe just isn't as precious is so useful, whether you're a beginner or whether you are a professional. Just so handy. And I feel like Orangewood have really cornered the market with that. I also know there are some differences that people just don't care about, and that's okay. So for me, the biggest difference is probably the length of time I can play both instruments. And me and the Martin, we have worked very, very hard for very long hours in the studio, especially working on the album and then, performing songbook on it. I have my sort of time limit, and that's about 5 or 6 hours of playing in a day. That comes down to my voice as well, like how long I can sing for. I would say when it came to filming this video on the Orangewood, my fingers just didn't hold out as long. But how many people are playing for that long? It's just not a very realistic thing to worry about. Let's get back to editing, but I loved this comparison. I loved learning more about the instruments I have in my collection. And if you have any other ideas, then you know where to let me know. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to check out the discount for my Fingerstyle Guitar course too. But as always, I'll be seeing you here very soon.